What's the secret behind people who live past 100? Discover the simple daily habits that help them stay strong, happy, and full of life.
Hello and welcome to Silver Vitality, the place where we explore how to age not just longer, but stronger, wiser, and happier. Before we begin, please take a moment to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below sharing one habit you want to keep for your next decade of life. Today's topic: healthy aging secrets from the world's longest living people. We'll look at what decades of research, especially on communities known as blue zones, tell us about living longer and better. Many of the individuals who live into their 90s, 100s, and beyond share habits, despite very different cultures, geographies, and diets. The good news is you can apply many of these habits starting today. Let's begin. 1. Move naturally, every day. Research of the world's longest-lived populations shows that they don't necessarily belong to gyms or run marathons. Instead, their environments encourage movement: gardening, walking, gardening, household tasks. For example, in the blue zones identified by researcher Dan Buettner, such as Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica, Ikaria, Greece, and Loma Linda, California, USA, the habit of gentle, natural movement is common. Tip for you: incorporate small movements every day. Walk instead of drive when you can. Tend a garden or potted plants. Stand up when reading instead of sitting for long periods. These accumulate into years of better health. 2. Eat mostly plants, less meat. Across longevity studies, researchers found that in these long-living communities, only about 20 to 30% of how long we live is determined by genes. The rest is lifestyle and environment. For example, bean consumption is high in blue zones. One report says eating about 1 cup of beans a day probably adds about 4 years to your life expectancy. Other dietary patterns: high consumption of vegetables, legumes, whole grains, moderate or little meat, minimal processed foods. In Okinawa, there's a cultural rule of eating until about 80% full, hara hachibu, rather than overeating. Practical tip: make the majority of your plate vegetables or legumes. Use meat as a side dish rather than main. Include beans, lentils, or chickpeas several times a week. 3. Have a sense of purpose. Know why you wake up in the morning. One of the most striking findings in longevity research is that people who have a clear reason to get up in the morning live longer. In Okinawa, they call this ikigai. In Nicoya, they call it plan de vida. A study even suggests that having purpose can add up to 7 years of life expectancy. So ask yourself, what gives your life meaning today? It might be your grandchildren, volunteering, a hobby, a community group, or simply your morning routine. Cultivating that purpose daily helps keep both your mind and body engaged. 4. Cultivate strong social connections. Longevity is not just about diet or exercise. It's also about who you surround yourself with. In blue zones, many centenarians live in tight-knit groups or have lifelong friendships. For example, in Okinawa, there is the concept of moiai, a group of friends who commit to each other for life. Research suggests that healthy behaviors, like not smoking, maintaining healthy weight, exercise, are contagious in social networks. So, tip: reach out and reconnect. Join a club or community group. Have regular meals with friends or family. Prioritize meaningful relationships. Longevity thrives in connection. 5. Slow down stress and honor rest. Chronic stress causes inflammation, which is a major driver of age-related disease. Long-lived people across blue zones have simple, built-in ways to release stress. For example, in Ikaria, they take a midday nap. In Adventist communities in Loma Linda, they observe a weekly day of rest. In Sardinia, they share long meals with friends and family. Practical tip: schedule 10 to 15 minutes each day to unwind. It could be sitting quietly, journaling, stretching, walking in nature, or spending time with loved ones. Sleep deeply and consistently. 6. Eat in moderation. Stop before you're full. One remarkable habit in Okinawa: people stop eating when they are about 80% full, rather than until overstuffed. This idea of hara hachibu helps regulate calorie intake and reduces metabolic strain. The Blue Zone's dietary guidelines highlight this: eating mostly plants, reducing dairy, snacking on nuts, drinking mostly water, and moving the body. Tip: slow down your eating. Put your fork down between bites. Stop when you feel comfortably satisfied, not stuffed. 7. Connect to nature and live with simplicity. People in blue zones often live in environments that support access to nature, fresh air, and community activities. They usually have homes that encourage walking, gardens, local produce, and less reliance on technology. For example, in Sardinia, many older men still tend sheep. In Nicoya, older adults maintain physical activity by routine rather than gym membership. Tip: spend time outside each day. Walk barefoot when you can. Grow a plant. Use stairs instead of elevator. These small changes matter.